And we are both here to talk about why you should all care about politics. Now I think that might sound kind of dry to a lot of you, but really how Yuyan and I got involved in this is we are involved with a club at Conestoga called Junior State of America, which essentially helps promote education of government and why we should all care about politics, and helps us form opinions about the issues that will face us in the future. So the first thing I want to draw attention to is the 2008 election. Now obviously this was won by our current president, Barack Obama. I hope you all know that. And as you can see in these statistics, the demographic that turned out most convincingly for President Obama was the age group of 18 to 29, which is the youngest age that can vote. Now, the reason that Obama won, despite the fact that he was pretty inexperienced compared to his opponent, McCain, was because he was able to mobilize the young people to vote, because he used social media and he had this image of change and progressivism that really appealed to the young vote. So I think one thing that people worry about when they're like, why should I care about politics, is what issues they really should care about at all. Why don't we just leave it up to the people in Congress who are actually legislating on these issues? Well, there are a couple issues that people in Congress might not care about that affect you directly more than they affect your parents or your grandparents. For one, environmental concerns affect us more directly because in 10 years we have to inhabit this world, and if it sucks, or if we don't have gas or any other natural resources, sucks for us. Issues like same-sex marriage or the legalization of marijuana, our generation has shown to be much more liberal than perhaps our parents or the generation before them. So if we don't defend our interests on these issues, the people in Congress certainly won't. Issues like abortion and student loans, which affect us directly, and student loans especially affect us because we're all probably, or at least a lot of us are planning on going to college at some point, those affect us directly. So if we don't fight for our rights and we don't stand up and have a voice in the political process, then our interests aren't going to be defended at all. So I think one thing, you can ignore the text, there's a lot of text, is that your vote doesn't really matter because it's one vote. There's a lot of people in this country, so one vote doesn't really make a difference. So why show up to the polls? If everyone thought that way, one person could determine the election because only one person could start showing up to polls. So that means that you do need to go to the polls, and you do need to be informed and educated about the policies that you're voting for, so that you can vote the right people into office.
And another oh God, I'm sorry. Okay. Another concern that you guys probably have is that I'm simply too young to make a difference. So I want to tell you a story about Craig Kielburger. Okay. This is this young man, and not to make your obviously distinguished and honorable high school achievement sound insignificant, but when he was only 12 years old, he founded an organization called Free the Children. This is a charity dedicated into ending illegal child labor, trafficking, and illegal child working hours and everything. So since then, after 1995, he partnered up with 45 different countries, and they have built over 650 schools and schoolrooms. And in 2007, he was awarded and named a member of the Order of Canada, which I'm not really sure what it is, but Canada takes it very seriously because it is that second highest honor of merit, which is a lot more than I ever achieved. And you still might be wondering, well, maybe what I'm interested in isn't as honorable or noble as ending child labor. And so I want to bring up the Tea Party movement. If you guys don't know, it's a recent political phenomenon where the Tea Partiers, as they call themselves, are dedicated into reducing U.S. debt and deficit by cutting government spending and taxes. And how they first nationally organized was can be credited to one man, this man. This is CNBC Business News editor Rick Santelli. Now, he was really upset in 2009 about a government plan to refinance mortgages and suggested, probably sarcastically, to hold a tea party for traders to jump derivatives in the Chicago River. If you don't understand what that is, that's fine. I don't really either. And so he had a rant. It was captured on camera. This is a screenshot. And it went viral. And overnight, websites like ChicagoTeaParty.com sprung up and sparked the movement. And the Tea Party message has spread throughout America. As you can see, it's talked about throughout. And demonstrations are usually hundreds strong, and they're very serious and very mad because they're holding signs. And look at that. Please, Mr. President, stop lying. Yeah, they're really, really mad about this. And probably the most prominent Tea Party you guys know is Senator Craig Cruz. He's also famous for organizing the government shutdown back in October. And he's a very polarizing figure. did what people who elected him to, wanted him to do, which is to represent the Tea Party principles. And now, some of you guys might think he's a conservative hero. Some of you guys might not think he's a conservative hero. But what's important is that whether you want more Ted Cruz's in the world depends on your vote. If you really, really don't like him, then it's your duty to stop more Ted Cruz's, I guess. And if you really, really like him, it's like, yeah, Tea Party, then vote for more Ted Cruz's into this world. And I just want to, oh, no, Simran, go.
Okay. That's my pretty obvious cue. So this is a graph of political participation from like a lot of years ago to now, and you can see that it's been steadily declining, but in the recent few elections, it's been increasing again, and that's thanks to people like us, or maybe even a couple of us who are actually registered to vote, because we're making a difference, and we're saying that our voice also needs to be heard, even if we are younger.
Okay, so I just want to end off with a quote from one of my favorite philosophers. Just kidding, that's not my cue yet.
She doesn't know the order of the slides. Okay, so a couple ways you can get involved at Conestoga itself, if you don't really want to go out in your community, is the multiple clubs we have at our school, where there's like 100 plus at our school total. One of them is Junior State of America, which I mentioned earlier. There's also Young Republicans, Young Democrats, Young Libertarians. So whatever really appeals to you, or if you just want to learn about any ideas from any of these parties, you can go to any of these clubs, and they're very welcoming. You can discuss ideas and learn a lot.
And especially for Junior State of America, we take all political rejects. If you're a socialist, communist, anarchist, welcome.
We want you.
Anyway, back to my favorite philosopher, I think. Please read it. Yes, okay, so Lorax. It says, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's